If you think Ferrari rolled out the red carpet for Lewis Hamilton, you've bought into the illusion. Because behind Maranello's iconic red walls, the truth is far harsher. What looks like a dream partnership is unraveling into a silent war. The man many call the greatest of his generation has walked straight into an environment that feels more like rejection than welcome. And now, the whispers have broken into the open. Former Ferrari driver Arturo Merzario didn't mince his words. He claimed that 9 out of 10 Ferrari staff members were against signing Hamilton. That's not just workplace gossip, that's culture. It means Hamilton didn't step into a hungry team ready to fight with him. He entered a system almost programmed to push him out. Merzario went further, describing Hamilton's arrival not as a sporting move but a business calculation. Ferrari didn't bring him in to lead a revolution. They brought him in to sell the brand. But how do you fight for victories when your colleagues never wanted you there in the first place? How do you trust the voice guiding you when that voice may be working against you? That voice belongs to Ricardo Adami, the race engineer Ferrari assigned to Hamilton. Instead of being a trusted ally, he's become the face of quiet resistance. Monaco? Silence. Hungary? Confusion. 14 races in, still no podiums. Not a single race where communication has been clear or decisive. Sabotage doesn't always come with flames and headlines. Sometimes it comes with delayed calls, blurred strategy, and long, calculated silences. Merzario explained the inevitable result. When a driver feels unwanted, he begins to lose drive. But here's the catch. Hamilton hasn't lost his hunger. What he's lost is trust. And in Formula One, trust is the invisible fuel that powers everything. Without it, even the fastest car won't matter. Imagine crossing the line P12, radio's dead silent, and the garage looking away. That's not failure, that's rejection, live on air. After Hungary, Hamilton told his team, maybe change the driver. It wasn't a tantrum, it was a coded warning. You're not giving me the tools to fight. 14 races, no podiums, and 42 points adrift. The numbers speak louder than Ferrari's PR ever will. But the team stays quiet because this problem isn't just performance. It's a system that protects itself at the expense of its own driver. Even Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur admitted they underestimated the environment change. But let's be clear, he wasn't talking about climate or conditions. He was talking about culture. Hamilton has been dropped into a machine where the engineer doesn't empower, he restricts. Where communication isn't partnership, it's control. Adami isn't a rookie. He's been part of Ferrari for years, worked with Vettel, with Sainz, and now Hamilton. But Lewis isn't like the rest. He doesn't just need generic updates, he thrives on rhythm, precision, tactical clarity. That's why his bond with Peter Bonington at Mercedes was legendary. Bono knew exactly what to say, and when to say it, even in the heat of chaos. With Adami, all Lewis gets are delays, vague half messages, or worse, silence when it matters most. And this is where Ferrari miscalculated. They thought Hamilton would quietly adapt, but silence is not adaptation, it's suffocation. What's happening isn't a mismatch of personalities, it's a fundamental incompatibility between a 7-time world champion and a structure not designed for him. Look at Monaco. After the race, Hamilton asked his engineer directly, are you upset with me or something? No answer. Not mid-race, not under pressure. After the flag, when the stress was gone. Just silence. Miami? Hamilton snapped over vague instructions. Imola? He challenged strategy mid-race and got half replies. Hungary? After calling himself useless, he suggested Ferrari change the driver. And still, the response was nothing. This isn't coincidence. This is a communication channel being strangled. Adami's hesitations aren't slip-ups, they're structural. He's part of a system that values control over collaboration. And when your engineer turns into a filter rather than a partner, you're not just driving blind, you're being managed toward failure. Because let's stop pretending this is just human error. You don't starve a world champion of crucial race information by accident. If Merzario's claim is true, that 90% of Ferrari staff never wanted Hamilton, then Adami's behavior makes sense. It isn't incompetence, it's alignment with a team culture determined to contain him. 14 races, 0 podiums, 42 points behind. Every strategy blunder, every missed call, every radio gap, they all flow through the same channel. And if nothing changes, Ferrari won't just be wasting Hamilton's twilight years. They'll be proving that the system, not the driver, always wins in Maranello. What if I told you that the silence in Lewis Hamilton's radio isn't incompetence? It's strategy, that every delay, every vague call isn't just a mistake, but part of a system designed to control him. Because inside Ferrari, communication isn't simply about racing, it's about power. And the man holding that power in his headset, Ricardo Adami, isn't just an engineer, he's the gatekeeper of Ferrari's structure. Adami doesn't push against the system, he enforces it. He slows things down, he filters information, he keeps Hamilton cut off from influence. That's not sloppy engineering, that's controlled isolation. Adami isn't the villain, he's the instrument. And when Ferrari shields him, they're really shielding something much larger, a culture built on loyalty and hierarchy, not on unleashing Hamilton's full strength. Because here's the truth, Hamilton isn't simply frustrated anymore, he's past that point. He's learned to read the atmosphere and play the long game. After Monaco, after Hungary, after radio silence that spoke louder than words, Hamilton stopped waiting for Ferrari to change. Instead, he started changing Ferrari from the inside. It began quietly. Private debriefs away from the usual crowd, direct strategy memos written in his own hand, extra sessions with data engineers, small adjustments invisible to fans, but seismic inside Maranello. And the impact is already showing. Adami's tone has shifted. His answers are sharper, faster, not because of loyalty, but because he's realized something. Hamilton isn't leaving. He's embedding himself into Ferrari's DNA. This isn't open rebellion. It's something more dangerous. It's reprogramming. And if Ferrari thought they could drown him out with silence, they've forgotten who they signed. Hamilton isn't fighting back with emotion, he's using precision, numbers, and time itself. Now, inside the team, the division is no longer rumour, it's real. One faction clings to Ferrari's traditional model of hierarchy, instinct, and internal loyalty, but another is quietly forming around Hamilton, one centred on clarity, transparency, and results. Stuck in the middle is Ricardo Adami, the engineer balancing between two worlds. Post-Hungary, Hamilton's blunt feedback forced car setups to be revised. Simulator sessions suddenly catered to his requests. Debriefs changed from orders to discussions. And Adami, once firm and dismissive, has grown shorter, more tense. Insiders say he's begun questioning why strategy feels like it's no longer built around him, but around Hamilton. Because here's the shift. When half of the garage adapts and the other half resists, it stops being about car setups. It becomes political. Ferrari may have two cars, but it's becoming clear only one driver's vision is shaping the future. Adami's role is about to reach breaking point. Neutrality isn't an option anymore. Either he leans with tradition or he bends toward Hamilton's growing influence. And in this Cold War, sitting on the fence isn't survival, it's surrender. Hamilton didn't sign with Ferrari to beg for approval. He came to reshape the team in his image. And if Ferrari won't hand him the tools, he'll take control piece by piece. One debrief at a time, one strategy call at a time. This isn't about mistakes anymore, it's about exposing the truth. Adami's silences, Leclerc's frustrations, the subtle redistribution of authority, all of it points to one question Ferrari can no longer dodge. Who actually leads this team? Every vague radio message, every ignored suggestion, every weekend where feedback is brushed aside, those aren't racing errors. They're signs of a power struggle, and Hamilton isn't just surviving it. He's steering it. He's shaping Ferrari's future, whether the old guard likes it or not. Insiders say the tension is peaking. After Hungary, Hamilton's side pushed new setup requests into the simulator, and the data leaked across both camps. Now one garage is demanding transparency, real-time telemetry, unfiltered strategy, open communication. Meanwhile, Leclerc's camp resists, and the atmosphere in Maranello grows heavier. This isn't open rebellion, it's a silent coup. And everyone inside the garage knows a moment of truth is coming. Because if Ferrari doesn't pick a side soon, Hamilton will force the decision himself, not with press conferences or drama, but with results. And here's the twist. The very engineer once used to keep him down may end up being the one who proves how far Hamilton has risen. Adami is at the center of it all, and when the silence finally breaks, it could expose Ferrari's biggest truth, that Hamilton isn't just a driver in red. He's the storm already reshaping the future of Maranello.